Welcome everyone. Thanks to our members for joining us this morning for our Equity Advisory Committee meeting, where we're really excited to be holding our first elections for chair and vice chair. Before we get started, we'll have Doug call the roll, and then we'll go into introductions and welcome.
Thank you, Sequoia. Martha Armas Kelly.
Present.
Alexandria Contreras. Michael Despain.
Present.
Ana Gonzalez. Herb Hastings.
Finally present.
Peggy Martinez.
Present.
Amber Novi. Amber, was that you?
Present.
Thank you. Naila Pope Harden.
I know Naila will be on in a little bit.
Thank you. Axel Santana.
Present.
Connie Stewart. Randy Torres Van Vleck.
Present. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Stella Ursua. Cheryl Villegas Walker.
Here.
William Walker.
Present and good morning.
Good morning. Christine Williams.
Present.
Thank you. We do have a quorum.
Pardon me, this is Peggy Martinez. I just want to say that I'm going to mute myself because my screen reader is interfering. So just saying that out loud. Sorry.
Thank you, Peggy.
Yeah.
No problem. Wonderful. I'm very excited that we have a quorum. Thanks, everyone. So now we'll move on to tab 2. Thank you, Doug.
Should I give some Zoom instructions?
Thank you, Doug. Yes.
Thank you. Welcome to the Interagency Transportation Equity Advisory Committee meeting. The committee focus will be on elevating diverse and historically marginalized voices, and will advise the California Transportation Commission, California State Transportation Agency, and Caltrans on how to achieve meaningful outcomes in transportation equity, environmental justice, and equitable economic opportunities, especially as related to transportation planning and programming. The meeting agenda is on the Commission's website at www.catc.ca.gov. Any document the C2C creates can be translated into any language you need. Simply email us at ctc@catc.ca.gov and we'll have them returned to you as quickly as possible. Spanish language and American Sign Language translators are being provided for this meeting. To access, you should see the sign language translator on your screen. To access the Spanish language interpretation, please use the Interpretations tab you should see at the bottom of your screen. You will need to select the language you need for that. Please use the chat function if you have questions about this. Live closed captioning is also available. Please select the Show Captions tab at the bottom of your screen. There are a number of language options available there to choose from. For our committee members, should you have questions or comments during the meeting, please let us know by raising your hand or otherwise get our attention on camera and wait to be called on. You can also send inquiries and comments through the chat that can be read on your behalf. Please mute your microphone except when you intend to speak to minimize outside noise and feedback. We will do our best to call on each of you in turn. We hope that you will turn your camera on while speaking if you have one. Because we do not have a quorum present in person, every vote will need to be a roll call vote. For our members of the public, we welcome comments from the public as part of each meeting at this item. Please state your name and any affiliation you want to associate prior to making your comments. Please do your best to be concise. Please remember to speak at a steady pace to allow our translating services adequate time for accurate translations. Please make sure that your comments add new information. If you agree with the comments of a previous speaker, simply make that statement. We ask that you make your point in 3 minutes or less. If for some reason we have many speakers on a single topic, we reserve the right to limit comments to 1 minute as needed. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Sequoia.
Thank you, Doug. Those very important instructions. All right, next we will move on to tab 2 for our introductions and welcome remarks. Welcome Equity Advisory members and members of the public to our November virtual convening of the Interagency Equity Advisory Committee. My name is Sequoia and I serve as the Associate Deputy Director for Equity and Engagement on the planning team at the California Transportation Commission. And I also want to introduce my interagency lead staff partners, Carolyn Abrams from Caltrans and Abigail Jackson from CalSTA. Together, we make up your interagency lead team. In September, the committee met in Stockton and members voted to adopt the committee charter. Today, we are excited to continue in the process of setting up the committee and will hold our first election for committee chair and vice chair. At our next few meetings, we will continue to work towards defining and pursuing an expanded leadership structure for the committee, as was expressed by members at the September meeting. Thanks to all of the Equity Advisory Committee members who submitted your interest in running for a leadership position. And as a reminder, if there are other members on the call today who decide in the spur of the moment that you want to run for a position, you definitely still can. And as we come to the final months of 2023, we are really taking time to reflect on all that we've accomplished as a committee in this first year. It really is an honor to be able to ground ourselves in the important work of improving equitable outcomes in transportation in the state of California. And I am truly grateful for this community of caring, passionate, and effective leaders. I also want to thank the interagency team for their collaboration and leadership in preparing for this meeting. And thank you to our administration teams who are helping us run and broadcast this meeting today. Thanks also to the interpreters on the line today who are helping make this meeting more accessible to the public. And of course, thank you to our interagency management teams who have supported us to help get us all to this milestone. I want to take a moment for our members who are on the line to be able to introduce themselves, please. So will folks please come on camera if you are joining us through Zoom, and let's take a moment and please say your name and where you're joining us from today.
I guess I'll start.
Thanks, Herb.
You already started. My name is Herb Hastings. I am a member and I am representing the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, East Bay. Unfortunately, I had an unfortunate situation this year, so I do apologize for no attendance. But I am very committed to continue in being a member for the next period. And that's pretty much I'll start with.
Thank you, Herb. Welcome back. We're really glad to have you on the call today.
Hi, this is Amber Novi. I'm with LIUNA and the Laborers International Health and Safety Fund, representing construction workers and women and minorities.
Thanks, Amber. Welcome.
Good morning, Mike Despain, Buena Vista Rancheria, Chief Operating Officer. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mike. Thank you for joining.
Hi, everyone. Axel Santana, Associate at PolicyLink, he, him, his pronouns, based out of Orange County, California. Looking forward to the conversation.
Thanks for joining, Axel.
Good morning, everybody. This is Christine Williams coming to you live from Stockton, California, representing the Northern San Joaquin Valley and intersection with affordable housing.
Thanks, Christine. Welcome.
Good morning, Cheryl Villegas Walker, coming from El Centro, California.
Welcome, Cheryl.
Morning. Good morning, Martha Armis Kelly, representing the Central Valley, working for Catholic Charities and in the areas of transportation, housing, environmental justice. Thank you.
Thanks, Martha.
I don't know if it's time, but hi, William Walker. I'm from San Francisco and the Bay Area, and I am a student researcher looking at transportation issues, and happy to serve for communities that are underrepresented and underserved here in the Bay Area and throughout the state. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome, William. Thanks.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Alex Contreras. I am from Downey, California, coming to you live from Oakland. Happy to be here and represent the intersection of housing and transit.
Welcome, Alex. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Randy Torres Van Vleck, joining you from San Diego, California, Kumeyaay Land. Good to see you all.
Thanks, Randy. Welcome.
Peggy Martinez from Arcata, California, representing the California's North Coast. Happy to be here today. Thank you to everyone who makes these meetings happen. Just want to say that because it's quite an undertaking. Anyway, I'm going to unmute and turn my video off now, but I'm thrilled to be here.
Thanks, Peggy, for joining us. All right, I think that is all of the members on the line. Did I miss anybody? Great. Wonderful to be able to share space with you all today. Thanks for joining. Carolyn and Abby, did you want to say hi?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Good morning, everyone. Carolyn Abrams. I'm the Race and Equity Program Manager with the Caltrans Director's Office of Equity, Sustainability, and Tribal Affairs. And I'm really excited that we're holding our first elections today.
Yeah, ditto. Good morning, everyone. I'm Abby Jackson. I am here on behalf of the California State Transportation Agency, where I am the Senior Climate Change Coordinator and help out with the Equity Advisory Committee, and really excited about elections. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, so next we'll move to sorry, we need to take public comment. So today we'll begin the meeting with public comment, and at the recommendation of committee members, we've adjusted our meeting format to better accommodate members of the public who would like to provide comments on items not on the agenda. And we will continue to proceed with this format at our future meetings as well. But I guess before I move to tab 3, is there any public comment on tab 2? Okay, hearing none, why don't we go ahead and move to tab 3, general public comment. Is there any general public comment to be heard at this meeting? I am not hearing anything, but I'm not sure if anyone's.
I don't see anything, Sequoia. Justin is unmuted, but I'm not hearing him.
Oh, okay.
But our folks online, you guys are able to unmute yourself if you do have comment, but I don't see anything in the chat at this time.
Okay. I'll give a second if folks want to add any general public comment on items not on the agenda now. You can unmute yourselves.
Sequoia.
Yes.
I also wanted to check in with the Spanish interpretation line to make sure we didn't have anybody there as well.
Thanks,
So
Jess.
if our interpreters can indicate whether or not they've received that request at this time. Okay, hearing nothing, we can move on.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so now we'll move on to tab 4, our September meeting recap and adoption of meeting minutes. Committee members, tab 4 is an action item featuring a recap of our September 26th meeting and adoption of the meeting minutes. And in compliance with our committee charter, minutes of the proceedings of the Equity Advisory Committee shall be kept, and the minutes from the last meeting shall be approved. All our minutes are also available on our website, our Equity Advisory Committee website. So folks are welcome to look at past meeting materials there. On September 26, 2023, the committee held a hybrid in-person virtual meeting at the San Joaquin Council of Governments boardroom in Stockton, California. Prior to the committee meeting, Caltrans staff held a work group meeting with interested committee members who were focused on the development of use cases for the Caltrans Transportation Equity Index, or EQI. The work group was briefed on the high-level aspects of the tool and received an update on the tool's launch status and was given an opportunity to ask clarifying questions about the tool. Additionally, at the meeting, committee members received welcoming remarks from Diane Nguyen, Executive Director of the San Joaquin Council of Governments, highlighting the cultural and ethnic diversity of Stockton, and Tanisha Raj, Program Coordinator, and Hector Olivares, Environmental Justice Program Manager with the Environmental Justice Program of Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Stockton, shared their experiences and priorities for improving environmental justice outcomes in San Joaquin County. At that meeting, the committee also voted to unanimously adopt the committee charter, which includes the establishment of a chair and vice chair under our preliminary minimalist leadership structure. And as part of this vote, committee members committed to have a discussion at a future meeting about expanded leadership structures, expanded leadership position and structure. The committee also received several updates from interagency staff, which can be reviewed in the book item or staff report associated with this item. With that, committee members, tab 4 is the approval of minutes for the June 5th, 2023 Interagency Equity Advisory Committee, and staff recommends your approval. Do any committee members have any questions or comments on this item?
Sequoia, this is Cheryl Villegas Walker. I'd move approval as presented, item number 4.
Thank you, Cheryl. We're going to quickly take public comment, but noting your movement, is there any public comment on this item, Justin?
Thank you, Sequoia. Just a reminder to the attendees, you may unmute yourself and make a comment, or you can indicate in the chat that you wish to comment. Either way is acceptable. So I'm keeping an eye on that for right now. And as of right now, we have not received any request, but I wanted to check again with our Spanish line to see if we received any request there. Okay, hearing none, we have not received any request for comment at this time.
All right, thank you. So I'll turn it over now to our commission clerk, Doug Remedios, to facilitate the roll call vote.
Sequoia, we did not receive a second for this motion.
Okay.
This is Peggy, I second.
Thank you, Peggy. We'll start the roll call vote. Martha Armas Kelly.
Present.
Do you support the motion?
I support it.
Thank you. Alexandria Contreras.
Support the motion, present.
Thank you. An aye or a nay is acceptable as well, folks. Michael Despain. Ana Gonzalez. Herb Hastings,
Abstain.
Peggy Martinez,
Aye.
Amber Novi,
Aye.
Naila Pope Harden, Axel Santana,
Aye.
Connie Stewart, Randy Torres Van Vleck,
Aye.
Stella Ursua, Cheryl Villegas Walker,
Yes.
William Walker,
Aye.
Christine Williams.
Aye.
The motion is approved.
Great, thanks. And for the record, Mike Despain's phone hit a dead spot, but he texted me that he also votes to approve.
Thank you.
Sure. All right, thanks everyone. Okay, so now we can move on to tab 5, our 2023 member elections. Tab 5 is an action item which includes a committee vote for both the chair and vice chair positions. Again, the adoption of the committee charter allowed the committee to proceed with a minimalist structure, leadership structure consisting of 1 chair and 1 vice chair. Committee members who were interested in serving as chair or vice chair for 2024 were asked to submit a statement of intent. The following members have submitted statements of intent to run for a leadership position. William Walker, who is running for chair or vice chair. Martha Armis Kelly, who is running for chair or vice chair. And Herb Hastings, who is running for vice chair.
If I could add, if I could add, I'm going to add the additional position as well for chair.
Chair, okay.
For both positions.
Okay, Herb Hastings is also running for chair and vice chair. Thanks, Herb. So we can go ahead and now move to the election of the committee chair, but before I hand it over to the nominees, are there any other committee members who would like to be added to the group of candidates? All right. So why don't we go ahead and move to committee chair elections. So each member will be given a few minutes to state their intent and interests and priorities. And following that, we will conduct a roll call vote. So for this vote, however, we, instead of saying yay or nay, we invite committee members, when your name is called, to name the member that you would like to be put in this leadership position, similar to a ballot box, but a verbal ballot box. Any questions on that? And we can go through it again when we get there. All right, why don't we go ahead and start with William, followed by Martha, and then Herb. William, will you please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Sequoia, and good morning, everyone. I sent a statement to everyone, and rather than reading a very long statement, I thought I would just tell you a little bit about why I'm here. As a child, and I've told this story, so you're gonna be like, I've heard this story, but I think it's really critical as to why I am interested in being the chair of the committee. As a kid, I went to the Board of Supervisors in San Francisco. There was no Muni board yet, or MTA board yet, to save my bus line, because they were going to cut all of the bus service in my neighborhood, and my mom didn't have a car. I was too young to drive. Actually, I never wanted a car when I was at that age. And by speaking, truth to power as an 8-year-old, I helped to save the bus line in my neighborhood. We organized and spoke at the Board of Supervisors, and that bus line ran until the pandemic. My mom is now in her 70s, and she's mobility impaired. And for 2 years, there was no bus service where she lived. And I engage in the work of transportation justice and work on racial and equity and social justice issues because a lot of folks don't realize the power of their own voices, and a lot of communities do not speak up for themselves. And working at SFNTA and SFCTA over the pandemic, I did a lot of work surveying folks in Baby Hunters Point, and what resulted is, even though there was only 20% of our bus service running in San Francisco, we were able to start a new bus line connecting Baby Hunters Point, an environmental justice neighborhood that's got a former shipyard. It's a Superfund site. It's lowest employment numbers in the city. That they now have direct service to a number of employers downtown and new basketball arena along the waterfront. And what makes me, I hope I'm still here because the window just went away. But what makes me interested in serving as chair is I have a lot of community organizing experience, a lot of experience within the transportation industry, and I'm really looking forward to helping our committee connect with the different leaders that be to bring transportation to the forefront and make it so that we're not car reliant in California, and that we're not introducing road pricing without really looking at how to improve our transportation network to make sure for folks that don't have any other resort that they have access to opportunity. And I'll leave it there. My statement is in the agenda today, and I've been at a number of I've been at all of our EAC meetings. I've been at a number of strategy sessions for our ITIP, our RTIP, our different plans, the alphabet soup of the work that we do, as well as attending CTC and CARB and HCD joint meetings and the CTC meetings. So I've really taken on, and because I have the privilege to have time to attend these meetings, I'd hope to be able to continue to do so, and be able to act in a leadership position that could possibly help our committee really solve a lot of the problems that California faces around inequities in transportation. Thank you.
Thanks, William. Right, next we'll move to Martha.
Good morning, Martha Armis Kelly, Environmental Justice Program Coordinator for Catholic Charities. The reason why that I am taking this stance to say I would like to be either chair or co-chair for this commission is because of the fact that I have experience working in grassroots efforts, and I stand really on the laurels of all of you because of the fact that either one of the people that are here in this council could apply for chair or co-chair. So I'm really kind of surprised that there are no other participants that have stepped up, because honestly, you all are basically here for the same reason. We're here to elevate the narrative and make a difference in the impacts of the lives of the people that we serve. And that's really why I'm running. I think that I have a perspective of understanding what and how transportation mitigates and affects us all. Being a member of a BIPOC community, oftentimes in these arenas, we're not given enough introspective or even value. And I'm praying and I'm hoping that I'll be able to help us and learn from each and every one of you, and really digest what your stories are, so that when we're in session, that I will be able to provide and assist and learn from each and every one of you in making this council strong and progressive movement, because this is new. We are pioneers, and I'm hoping to be able to facilitate in either a co-chair or a chair position. What I'll bring to the table is my expertise at listening, being very fair and critical of the spaces that we are going to be part of, understanding and learning and selecting and even maybe even voting on some measures or some concerns of ours, really being pragmatic and fair. And I don't use the word equity as a token word. I know that it means like, let's bring everything to where we're at a level playing field. And I'm hoping that through the few interactions that we've had, you've been able to see that I am kind of new in the area of governance, but I'm not new in the area of being a leader and a provider of knowledge. If I don't understand something, I will bring the materials forward. And I think that my goal is that if we don't understand, that's okay. We learn together and we progress together and we thrive together. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I'm hoping that I can have your vote. And if not, I'm still going to be right next to you as your colleague, excited and looking forward to be part of something bigger because this is really exciting. Thank you.
Thanks, Martha. All right, next we will round it out. The chair nomination speeches with Herb Hastings. Herb, you are still muted.
Oh, I was being polite. Plus, I was making a lot of acting. And I have a sense of humor. But here we go, professionally. My reason or my introduction of myself is I represent the disability community in the East Bay as a member of or an employee of the Regional Center in East Bay. So I have experience with the disability community very well. Using this experience, I have worked with several local transit agencies for the East Bay for at least 20 years, up to 20 plus years. So it's been several years I've had experience of this advocacy program, which is transportation is my major program that I work on. The reason I like to work as become the chair or the vice chair is to assist with staff in planning the agenda and making and assisting with running the meeting orderly and progress. And I would also bring up very important topics that would affect the state of California in the public transit aspects of improving for the future of public transit for the state of California in the adequate process. I've also have experience of advocating for public transit, and the agencies that I've been involved with, to give you a list of all of them, as short as is I'm on a local bus advisory committee for at least 25 years. I've been the chair and the chair of that agency over here for at least 15 years. I've actually got very good communication with that staff. And then I've also been a member of the Alameda County-wide advisory committee called Paratransit Advisory Committee, which works with the Alameda County Transit Commission that dispenses out all the funds after to the local transit agencies. I have also been involved as a representative of that committee. I was a member of the Watchdog Committee, which looked into and followed along as for the financial side to make sure that all the money that the state of California had given to the county commission, to make sure the commission used the funds as it was intended in all different aspects, including bicycle programs, disability construction projects, bicycle highway projects, citywide programs. So I'm very knowledgeable with the financial aspects of the of California transportation public. I'm also a very good listener, and I will take the time of listening to aspects of topics of different categories for issues before I just jump to conclusions, and I listen and then talk and work out good solutions of how to solve this situation. The last piece I'd like to say is I would like to work to improve transit access for everyone, including and assisting the transit community villages, that I'm going to call them villages, around the Bay Area Rapid Transit Advisory cities, and assisting with building the apartment communities around public transit access. I've also been a member of the BART Accessibility Advisory Committee and the vice chair of that committee, which is the Bay Area Rapid Transit Committee. All right, that's it. Thank you. And I would like to be the chair too, please, and take your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Herb. Question for the clerk before we, well, after we take questions from the committee, do we take public comment before we do voting?
Yes, please.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the committee?
So Claudia,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This is Cheryl Villegas Walker. I just wanted to clarify that what we're voting on is a chair and a vice chair, not co-chairs, correct? I mean,
Correct.
I want to be really clear on that. Thank you.
Yes. So this action that we'll proceed with is to vote for committee chair. And next we'll have a action to vote for committee vice chair. Martha, I see your hand raised.
Yes, I wanted to ask, is there going to be a time for the other members to even ask questions of those that are running for chair or co-chair? Because I
Yes,
think that
right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yes, if anybody has any questions or comments for chair nominees, please ask them now.
This is Axel. I have a question for all the candidates. Just wondering, thanks for sharing your background and information and why you're interested in being chair or co-chair, but just wondering what would be your sort of priorities for the EAC for the next year and beyond?
May I?
Go ahead, Martha.
Hi, thank you. That's a great question. For myself, I think that the priority lies in organizing and making sure that as we're organizing and setting up our charter, that the following year is filled with a lot of public comment where folks are able to engage. My goal is to bring forth an opportunity for meaningful engagement. As a member of the EAC, I think that each of us need to have some type of campaign strategy for like signage or branding in our community. I would like to see that each MOP, like the Board of Office of Government, MPO, excuse me, is informed of who we are, that we have a better relationship with those MPOs, that we have some type of signage or presence in the community so that the community can relate to us and work sort of as a liaison and bring that are going to be affecting each individual respective community. And as such, we looked forward to becoming more of a conduit role so that they can send us their questions or even engage or understand that this is another area in which they could participate boost civic engagement, and boost opportunities for the community to understand governance and perhaps not such an intimidating forum, but more into an inclusive forum, because the whole idea of equity and inclusivity has to be more than just a checkbox. So I think that our role is going to be more of getting introduced into the community, how they can participate, how they can be part of the process, and understanding the narrative for transportation and equity and inclusion in those areas of transportation. So that's really that first year, is just trying to get that started and moving our entire council in a direction of being connected to the community and being used as a conduit for the said community.
Thanks, Martha. Would either Herb or William like to respond to Axel's question?
Should I go next? Okay, great. So thank you, Axel, for your question. And that is a tall order right now, because I just think about how we're just about a year from when we began this process. And I don't think we knew what we expected a year ago, and it's very difficult to start new organizations. But I think that there are a few things that would quickly get us up to speed, and there are some things that will take a bit more infrastructure for us to do. I'd love to see an email address for the EAC, like a joint email address that kind of distributes to each of us, because I mean, in accordance with Bagley-Keene, all of the state acts that govern how we communicate, it would be really nice to be able to give members of our CTC and a lot of the MPO staff members that I've been interacting with at our regular meetings, contact information where they can not just interact with me as a member of the EAC, but engage with our entire body. It may seem really silly to ask for this, but like, whether it's just creating, I mean, we could probably create this on our own, but like an electronic business card that we could just distribute so that like we have unified information, so that that we can begin to communicate at large with the community. I think that we as an advisory body should be having input on the different decisions that are being made at the CTC. And so being able to have briefings, I mean, I don't know what the funding resources are for that and if that even makes sense, but it looks like there's a position that's posted right now that's going to provide more direct staff to our body, and being able to have information brought to us about what's going to be discussed at the different meetings. I mean, I review the agenda items, but it would be great to look at the equity impacts of the different projects that are being approved at the CTC. I think the last meeting I attended, I think $3 billion in project approvals occurred. That's a lot of money, and being able to understand, you know, how much of that money is really being directed toward like mitigating the negative impacts of our infrastructure and making sure that you know, transportation is plentiful, and that we're not just focused on single occupant cars, but looking at how transportation operates and how we build it effectively and efficiently. It would be great to also understand what the infrastructure is of our regular meetings. We've done some remotely. We've had them in conjunction with CTC meetings. We've had a couple meetings that were that were not in conjunction, and understanding what's feasible for most folks and what that looks like moving forward. A succession plan, because we're already a year into a 2-year process, so understanding like how we should be doing recruitment and how we should be incorporating the communities in which we're serving into our processes, and a way to figure out what all of our needs are. A survey. I mean, I know that we've done a couple surveys, but maybe another survey just to ask everyone on the committee what our needs are as members, and you know, what we would like to do what we have the capacity to do as individuals, what we think we have the capacity to do as a committee, and where we would need help to build capacity to do all of the things that were on our wish lists. And finding a way to interact with these 12 equity managers that are being hired in the 12 Caltrans districts throughout the state. And that's a short list. It's not exhaustive, but and finding ways to, with that survey of all the members, to figure out what that expanded leadership looks like, because we all can't be a chair or vice chair, but there could be 15 officer positions if people have capacity for that. And we could look at serving, having a district representative for the 12 positions that aren't officers, having positions that are around subcommittees related to the different issues that we're focused on, from climate to transit to transportation operations to safer highway, sustainable highway building, and active transportation, and so on and so forth. I think I've gone too long and I apologize, but thank you.
Thanks, William. All right, Herb, did you want to respond to Axel's question?
Okay, I will do my best. Let's see. My idea of hoping to do this would be, I would take the effort to introduce the public to our committee and inform the public of what we're supposed to do, the responsibility, and have them be aware that this committee exists, so that it's a noticeable committee that's involved in equitably and all the different aspects of transportation, so people have the right to know what the state's doing and how the state is managing and running all these Caltrans programs that are being done. Because I've heard situations in the past where, we're using billions of dollars, and what is this for and why we're doing it. And I'd like to have the opportunity to have committee hear this and then be able to take from the public and go to the staff and to Caltrans and forward the information from the public in a better way, so that the commission can actually hear about and get points of how the public physically feels, so that and then I would like to be able to interact with the commission, so that the commission itself here's the public's point of views, so that the public knows that the commission is involved, and so that they know their responsibilities of what they're voted for, positions are for, responsibilities of the state for the public. I'd like to also have the chance to be able to make the opportunity to get reports and review of of ongoing projects that are funded by state Caltrans construction departments. See where the projects are. How is the funding being used? Is the funding directed to the project and being ethically, properly used as intended, as it originally was proposed, and have continued follow-ups over the time period on the financial side of it. And then I would like to say that and building a ongoing this coming year, I would working with building the structure for our committee, so that it's in better organization and structure the committee, so that everybody is involved, not just the chair, not just the vice chair, but able to give their comments to the group and work with the people and listen to the members of the advisory group. And that's how I would say. I'm sorry if I'm stuttering, but it's just a little rusty. But that's what I would like to answer your question.
Thanks, Herb. Loud and clear on my end. Okay, are there any other questions that the committee members would like to pose or comments? Okay, hearing none, we can move on to public comment for this part of the action item, which is voting for the committee chair. Justin, is there any public comment on the line?
Thank you, Sequoia. I've checked in with the Spanish interpreter. We have not received any requests through that channel. And as of right now, I do not see any other requests to comment at this time. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Well, with that, why don't we go into our voting process for committee chair.
Thank you, Sequoia. Thank you, Sequoia.
Thanks,
Just a reminder to the members, you will call the name of the person that you were choosing to be the chair of this committee. So William Walker, Armis Kelly, or Herb Hastings should be your response. Martha Armis Kelly.
William Walker.
Thank you. Alexandria Contreras.
William Walker.
Thank you. Michael Despain. Ana Gonzalez. Herb Hastings.
Herb Hastings.
Thank you. Peggy Martinez.
William Walker.
Thank you. Amber Novi. Amber Novi.
William Walker.
Thank you, Amber. Naila Pope Harden.
William Walker.
Thank you, Naila. Axel Santana.
William Walker.
Thank you, Axel. Connie Stewart. Randy Torres Van Vleck.
I'll be voting for William Walker.
Thank you. Stella Ursua. Cheryl Villegas Walker.
William Walker.
William Walker.
William Walker, please.
Thank you, William. Christine Williams.
William Walker.
William Walker has been elected chair.
Congratulations, William.
This is exciting. Thank you all for your support, and I aim to live up to every vote that I received and votes I didn't receive. I'm really excited, so thank you.
And then for the record, Michael Despain votes for Martha Armis Kelly for chair.
Thank you, Sequoia.
Sure. Exciting. Okay, so next we will move to our vice chair elections. So we heard from all our nominees regarding their chair positions. Would the nominees like to add anything regarding vice chair position?
And I guess I'll just say I would just echo my previous announcements of being 20 years experience that I've had working with the disability community and all the different advisory committees.
Thanks, Herb.
And
Martha?
myself, thank you. And myself, I really didn't go into that, but I do have over 20 years of experience working with governance, working in different committees and boards, all in the areas of environmental justice, centering from obesity prevention to Native Indigenous spaces and including the active transportation grants, safe routes to school, safe parks, um, uh, civic engagement, the general plan, working with MCAG in Merced County and Stanislaus County, as well as San Joaquin County. I'm really connected to a lot of governance and community organizations, but I mean, like we all have that. I just think that it's more important about understanding that we're all here for one common goal, and that's to be to elevate and bring forth the narrative for equity and justice in the spaces that we are in. And what a better place to do this. And I hope that we have the expanded model, but for now, let's get this going. And I'm really excited, and I thank you for your vote.
Thank you. Committee members, do you have any follow-up questions or comments for our two nominees for vice chair? Or would anyone else like to not self-nominate to be vice chair?
This is Peggy. I would like to say something.
Thanks.
I just want to thank everyone for running. You know, obviously somebody won't be elected this time around. And that's, you know, kind of how it works. But I just think that it's really, well, I really appreciate you all for running, for putting your ideas forward, for being available for this. So I just felt I wanted to say that. So thank you all.
Thank you, Peggy. Any other comments or questions from our committee members? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to public comment regarding the vote for vice chair. Justin, is there any public comment?
I've not received any request for comment on our Spanish line, and I have not seen any indication that anybody wishes to comment at this time. So thank you so much.
Great, thank you. With that, Doug, will you please lead us in the voting process?
Thank you, Sequoia. And members, again, you'll be saying the name of the person you want to vote for vice chair, either Martha Armis Kelly or Herb Hastings. Martha Armis Kelly.
Martha Armis Kelly.
Thank you. Alexandria Contreras. Michael Despain.
Michael has written in for vice chair Herb Hastings.
Thank you. Ana Gonzalez. Alex Contreras, I see you're on the line, but I did not hear a vote. Did you want to vote for this?
Yes, sorry, Martha Kelly.
Thank you very much. Herb Hastings.
Herb Hastings.
Thank you. Peggy Martinez.
Herb Hastings.
Thank you. Amber Novi.
Martha Kelly.
Thank you. Naila Pope-Harden.
Martha Armis Kelly.
Thank you. Axel Santana.
Martha Armis Kelly, please.
Thank you. Connie Stewart. Randy Torres Van Vleck.
Martha Armis Kelly.
Thank you. Stella Ursua. Cheryl Villegas Walker.
Well, I'd like to vote for both of them, but this time around, I'll vote for Martha, please.
Thank you, Cheryl. William Walker.
Concur, cousin. I'd like to vote for both, but my vote is for Armis Kelly, please.
Thank you, William. Christine Williams.
Martha Armis Kelly.
Thank you. Martha Armis Kelly has been elected vice chair.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. And thank you to our three candidates for showing leadership and helping continue to guide us into our vision for next year, and resounding loud and clear that our expanded leadership is a goal, and we'll work together to do that. But really appreciate getting to this milestone today. Congratulations, William, on becoming chair, and congratulations, Martha, on becoming vice chair.
Thank you, everyone. And yes, I echo that as well, that I look forward to seeing how we will evolve into that expanded modality, because I think that that's really where it's at. To be able to experience everyone's expertise and guidance is really what I like to see. Thank you.
I concur. And that expanded leadership's coming because there's no way that two people can do the work of this committee for the 40 million people of the state. There's no way. So never fear. Anyone who wants a leadership position, it's yours. And there'll be updates.
Okay, I do want to just say congratulations, even though someone's always got to be the downside. But I do want to appreciate the opportunity of getting as many votes as I did. Thank you. And I know the other two will do their positions very well. And I'm opening up the invitation if either one of them has any assistance or needs. I'm open for doing some part if necessary.
Very necessary. We'll be circling back, Herb, and I've been watching you here in the Bay Area for years. Very respectful of I respect the work that you've put in over the decades that I've been watching you since I was a kid. So definitely looking forward to working with you more here too.
Well, Sequoia has my number.
Got you.
Super excited.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Really excited to meet this milestone today. Peggy, I see you came on camera. Did you have any comments?
No, I'll have a comment for after, because I just want to talk about, so I just want to let the meeting flow, and then I have a comment.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're gonna go into closing and next steps. And happy to have additional comments then. So again, congratulations to our newly elected leadership. We look forward to collaborating with you to create meeting agendas, to preside over these meetings, and to support our committee leaders, support our committee as leaders. And we look forward to continuing to work with the committee to determine the roles and characteristics of an expanded leadership structure at a future meeting. So with that, we'll go to tab 6, which is closing and next steps. We do have a couple of quick announcements that we wanted to share with you, in addition to thinking about our next hybrid in-person virtual meeting that will be in Riverside, California. So, and then we also have an announcement from Abby at CalSTA, and some upcoming engagement opportunities for members that we want you to know about. So next month on December 7th and 8th, are coming up pretty quickly, we have a meeting that we've been preparing for you, our final meeting of 2023 executive meeting, where we will be on the dais with the Equity Advisory Committee, the Caltrans director, and the CalSTA secretary. And it is the opportunity that we have twice a year to be in dialogue with them and to reflect on what we've done over the past year and where we'd like to go. And we'll be really excited to introduce our new leadership, our folks in leadership, as well as reflect on the results from the survey that folks, thank you for filling that out. We'll be using that data and presenting it at that meeting, but also using it to determine how we go about holding our committee next year, and the areas that we want to focus on based on your priorities, as well as thinking about the best way to hold meetings and where to hold them. So really appreciate everyone's input on that survey. It's really important information. But of course, if you had anything else that you wanted to add, you can always reach out to any of the interagency staff via email. On December 7th, Thursday afternoon, we will be offering an informational session for the California State Transportation Agency strategic plan that in a minute I'll pass it over to Abby to describe to you that segment of the week. That will be only offered in person. That will not have a virtual option, unfortunately. But for those of you attending the meeting in person, you're welcome to join us earlier on Thursday to make it to that meeting around, it's at 2:30. And then we will have a no host dinner after that nearby. So we'll be able to break bread together. And then Friday morning at 9 a.m. in the Riverside Board of Supervisors building, we will host our last executive meeting of the year. And it will be a traditional meeting format, but we will be working with you in the next coming days to do travel planning and making sure all that is in order. Quickly regarding travel planning, thank you to those of you who have submitted all your paperwork to get into our state processes. We need everybody who's going to be getting compensated to make sure that you work with our HR team to get the proper documents. We'll do a follow-up email about that as well. But that just kind of helps us pay you from our new fund source, which is actually coming from the state instead of a grant. And so we'll be reaching out to those individuals who have yet to complete all the paperwork and to make sure that you can get that in. And let me pause. Are there any questions on the announcements that I just made?
Peggy here, just wanting to say that, well, I wanted to ask about the December 8th meeting. Is it virtual?
Yes, the Friday meeting will be
cool.
virtual.
All right, because I have looked and I mean, the flights from Arcata to Riverside and back are just not great. And I've just got so much other stuff going. So I will be there on the 8th though, virtually.
Great.
So yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Peggy. And next year we're gonna have more opportunities for in-person and try to prioritize areas that are easy to travel to for folks across the state. So we'll make sure to vet it with you as well, Peggy, to make sure you can come when you're able to. Any other questions on that?
I know that in past meetings, I think that for the Stockton meeting, there was like a little carpool from Sacramento. And if we could, and if this is something that I can do on a follow-up survey, we can look at like, what if there's a direct flight from Arcata to, Los Angeles or Santa Ana or San Diego, and just trying to figure out like where the best flights are so that we can make sure that everyone can be accommodated. Because what I'm finding is that whenever we do fly in or drive into a place, like there's already a good contingent of people in that area that are driving from within like an hour or two. So like I drove to Stockton and I would have been happy to bring someone from SFO.
Yeah,
right.
Thanks.
And real quick, yeah, I know. And had I not had so many other things just piled up that I have to do, it would have worked out. I could have flown from SFO to Ontario or something, you know. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate that idea though, William. Thanks, because I will all pretty much always need a ride from an airport.
Right. And if there's like because sometimes there's just those weird flights of like Arcata might have a direct flight to Fresno for some weird reason. So like knowing that if someone from Fresno is going to a meeting in Madera, like those types of things. And that's something that we can just do our homework on. So it's not even a personal thing. It's just, we should be looking at that for all of us. And I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that because I mean, I'm in the Central Valley and I have a car. Like last time it worked out where I picked up Randy and we got into the meeting.
Awesome. Yeah, let's get more coordinated on travel for everyone. Thanks for bringing that up.
Are we going to talk about our first meeting of 2024? I mean, I hate to ask you guys because you're totally working on the December thing, but I mean, I know you know that the sooner you can get us information, then the more likely that more of us will be able to attend.
Yeah, so we are looking at February, I think late February 2024 as we're kind of trying to figure out if it's in person or virtual, but we're leaning towards in-person committee only meeting. And we'll be presenting a draft 2024 calendar to you at the December meeting as well.
Okay, cool.
To review. Yeah. And we want your input too on a couple of dates and whether or not they should be in person or virtual. So we look forward to having that conversation, but I would say look to end of February for that first EAC meeting of the year.
Thank you. Perfect.
And I'm assuming there's probably some confusion on when people's terms started, especially for folks that were just joining us for 1 year. And this being our first year, we were kind of a little trying to figure that out too. But we are looking for the future. Our terms will be from starting in March and ending in March. So for folks that are on for just 1 year, if you want to join us for the February meeting as your last meeting before we bring in the next round of new members, which we will also be talking about, but you can plan on attending that with us as your last meeting. Okay, and Abby, I'll pass it to you, and then I do have one other announcement from the commission.
Awesome. Thank you all. Yeah, sorry about the travel planning. I know that can get complex, but for those of you who are able to make it Friday or Thursday afternoon, December 7th in Riverside, I really hope you can join me for a session on our strategic plan that we're undergoing at CalSTA. I want to tell you about what's in the draft plan, get your input on it, and then larger than that, your thoughts on equity in strategic planning, because all of our departments are about to undergo strategic planning as well, and updating their plans. So really want to include you in that conversation. I brought this up in September and it seemed like under Bagley Keene, the best way to go about it is to create basically a public meeting so that I can communicate with all of you at the same time, those of you who are able to participate. So I appreciate it. Please try to make it on Thursday if you can. I sent you a calendar invite yesterday. It came from Transportation EAC at DOT, that email address, but I wrote it on my end. So if you can accept that, that would be helpful. Since it's informational, technically we don't need a quorum to deliberate, but I hope a lot of you can make it. So yeah, please let me know if you have any questions. And like Sequoia said, we'll follow up with like the travel and information about that dinner as well. Spent some time in downtown Riverside 2 weeks ago at the ARB CTC joint commission meeting, and it's actually very nice downtown. So I'm looking forward to going there again. Thanks, Sequoia.
I got a question.
Yes.
Did you say it was December 7th or December 8th?
So December 7th is going to be this 4:30 p.m. CalSTA strategic planning session, engagement session with you guys. And then on December 8th, that's the official meeting that is on Friday morning.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have a mixed up date.
No, that's great. Thank you for clarifying because I don't want it to get confused. William, did you have a question?
I know that for some folks that can't make the Thursday, is it still possible to gather input? I don't want to violate Bagley Keene, but I want to make sure folks that and we won't violate Bagley Keene, but I want to make sure that folks who aren't able to make it that still want to have input, and if it means us having another virtual meeting just amongst ourselves so that we can have that input provided, is that something that would be feasible? And is the deadline before the end of the year, or is it?
Yeah, I'm not actually the one writing the plan, but I can look into that. I think it made most sense to do it the day before the other meeting, but what I could do is one-on-one briefings with members who can't make it to that meeting. I'm limited to doing it individually, as I understand it. I'm not a great expert on Bagley Keene, but that's how it was explained to me. I could do a survey, but that doesn't seem that engaging. And
Abby, this is Tanisha, and maybe I can help a little bit on kind of what you can do and what you can't do. But of course, I'd leave it at the discretion of CalSTA as to how you want to engage. So you can communicate individually with the committee members as staff of the committee. You cannot share what you hear from the committee members. You can incorporate it into your process and send the final document out to the committee. You can share a document that the committee can respond to you, but they cannot talk to each other. And you cannot talk to them about what you're hearing from each of them.
Okay, thank you, Tanisha. Yeah, so what I can do is whoever is able to attend the meeting on the 7th, great. I hope you can make it. And then I will also send out the draft strategic plan, and those who are interested can send feedback to via email.
I think it's great to have both of those processes happen. I know it creates a lot more work, but just sometimes people go to a meeting and they're shell shocked and they're like, I don't even know what I want to say. And then Sunday they're like, over their cup of coffee, they're like, oh, I have this thought. And so
absolutely. Yeah.
So it's helpful for us to have that process just whenever there's feedback, having the public meeting process as required and following up with that paper process or that digital paper process, just so that because we're such a big group, if we don't do that, I fear that there'll just be some folks that are heard more than others. And that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
We can, as we're scoping this out and learning about everyone's learning styles and ability to engage in these types of groups. But that's just my 2 cents for now. And as we, build out this expanded leadership, we can dedicate some of that leadership to figuring this stuff out too.
Okay, yeah, that's great feedback, William. And I don't think it'll be that much extra work to do that. So happy to do that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Abby.
Okay, and then on the commission's end, I have a quick note that our Associate Deputy Director, who's Francis Diaz Sanchez, who's working on the SB 1121 needs assessment report, would like to hold a briefing with members, and we'll be reaching out with you for you to coordinate with her. So stay tuned for an email from me and Francis coming up soon. Carolyn, did you have any things you wanted to add before we get back to, I think Peggy, do you still have a comment, or was it earlier the travel?
No more comments from me. I was just wanting to talk about the travel thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peggy.
Thanks, Sequoia.
All right. Sure. Okay. And then, Carolyn, if you have anything to add.
Nothing on my end, but thank you, Sequoia.
Great, thank you. So that concludes our remarks. Are there any other questions or comments from the committee?
Sequoia, this is Cheryl Walker again. It's always very helpful, I think, if we can have maybe a recap of upcoming dates, because I don't know about anybody else, but I seem to be inundated with a lot of really great opportunities, and I'm calendar challenged or something. But if somebody could just gather up that information and maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks say, here are upcoming opportunities for you to participate. Give us a date, give us a time. That would be so easy instead of all of the one-off emails, which I really appreciate. It's just that I feel like I'm missing some opportunities to be more effective in this role, simply because I'll maybe look at it and say, oh, I'll come back to that later. And then by that time, I've missed the opportunity.
Yeah,
Okay,
understood. Thank
and
you.
I want to I want to add on to that, the earlier the better, so that we can fill in the boxes. Because I do have, since I work and I have a personal life situation, I had to revise the schedule. So if we could be informed at a respectable early as possible, then we can reflect and change our schedules as needed.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
Only because it's great to get that one-on-one email as it's happening, but I would have liked to had like a calendar ahead of time. That way, because sometimes it is hard for others to coordinate.
Understood. Any other comments or questions from the group?
Sequoia, maybe just on that note, a reminder to folks that they can expect to receive a logistics email. I know you mentioned this earlier, but that will outline some of those upcoming dates. And then, as Sequoia mentioned before, at the December meeting, we will be providing you all with a proposed calendar for 2024 that will have all of the committee meetings. And if we have specific dates tied to other initiatives that we know ahead of time, we can share those as well. And otherwise, duly noted that the sooner the better, and perhaps putting together a committee calendar that's monthly updated and send out a reminder to folks. We can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And that'll especially help out is when we come to different jurisdictions in which one of our EAC members might want to invite folks or even partake in presenting for their given community.
Yeah, thanks. Any other comments or questions? All right, Justin, is there any public comment on this item?
Let's go ahead. No, we've not received any request to comment either from our Spanish line or from anybody else attending. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, with that, we have reached the end of our meeting. Again, congratulations to our newly elected leadership. We look forward to working with you and to working on our future leadership structures. Thanks to all of you for taking some time out of your Friday to join us. And did you have something to add, William?
Just really quickly, Brandy, Justin, Sequoia, Carolyn, Abby, Doug, anyone else I'm missing, we really, really appreciate everything you do. It's herding cattle to deal with the commission, and now you have another herd of sheep here with the committee, and there's also the other jobs that you do outside of just staffing commissions and committees. So we really do appreciate your work, and we look forward to standardizing stuff so that it's just easy, and it's just we trudge through and don't want to create more work, but we really appreciate the work that you've all done to get us to where we are today.
I'm excited for year 2.
For sure. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And with that, we will adjourn today's meeting. Thanks, everybody. Have a safe weekend. We'll be in touch with you very soon.
Everyone,
Thank
have a
you.
holiday.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Congrats.
Thank you all.